bare face, hair tied. No. Sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're the what? That's embarrassing. Now I gotta go and edit that out. Had your girl. Okay, I'm the type of person that doesn't really want to share my lows, because when they're low, they're low. I'm talking about down there, like. But TikTok do not like me and I do not like them, because I'm not playing with myself no more. And if I'm being completely honest, baby, ain't nothing on this card. Ain't nothing on this card. This is for decoration. So for everybody that be talking about how like, oh, you know, you just be making your little videos. No, baby, I don't be making little videos. This is a whole production, because I feel like I deserve that shit, baby. I don't like saying real job, because what the f is a real job? It's not a community, it's a community, like, period. Let's talk about it, baby. It's your girl Taylor Patrice, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It, baby. Let's talk about it, a place where we talk about the foolery that goes on a www. That's right, the World Wide Web. And today we have a lot to unpack here, because your girl has not filmed a podcast episode in 5 months. Yeah, in 5 months. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. So, how y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing? You guys, I'm so excited to be back here. I am grateful to be back here. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. The last time you guys saw me on the podcast, actually, I was not doing too well mentally. I was not doing too well mentally at the beginning of the year. I think that I truly was burnt out from the end of last year. Hopefully I learned from my mistakes last year. I think I was just trying to like end it off with a bang, but also, I'm not even gonna hold you, that election did something to me, and all the videos that I was seeing, the way my algorithm was set up, and it just wasn't good. It was negativity after negativity after negativity, and I was just like, whoa, like this is too much for me to handle. And then you guys know that my place almost caught on fire. Like my furnace was literally fried on the inside, okay? I had to have the fire department come out here. It was literally such a crazy time. And then to top it off, I had gotten into it with somebody that I had considered a really close friend of mine, and the way that that situation happened really had your girl fucked up, okay? Really had me fucked up. Because when you allow somebody to have a piece of you, it just really sucks when you feel betrayed, you know what I'm saying? And so, especially because I am not a person that allows people to really get close to me. I don't really allow people to know me. I really would prefer it that way. I know that sounds crazy, but I just feel like, I mean, you can't, and especially in the influencer space. Let me get comfortable. I feel like I'm sitting up. Oh yeah, make sure I still look good. Oh, we got a little side cleavage coming out, because I got a little cleavage now. Okay, I'm really feeling myself. Like, as I am approaching 30, my body is definitely changing. Some changes for the better, some changes for the worse. I'm just trying to learn my body. But yeah, what I was saying was, especially like being an influencer, I mean, I think that's how it is in general, but I'll speak from my experience, like being an influencer in a smaller city where like there aren't like big influencers, and if there are, they're more so like foodie influencers where they're just going around trying food, which there's nothing wrong with that. However, you're not really seeing foodie influencers like get invited to events and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So like, I just feel like people be kind of treating me different to an extent, or like it'll give like, you didn't even like me, but now that I have a following, you kind of like want to be in my face. I don't know. Like, has anybody else experienced that? Or even having like a lower following, like just like you being on your Zoom is kind of like attracting people, but it's not necessarily attracting like the right people. It's attracting people that want to be close to you for the wrong reasons, and they don't necessarily want to be close to you for you. Yeah. So that is one of the reasons why I feel like I don't allow people to get super close to me. But I don't want to say I've always been this way, but as I got older, I just started to observe things. And even before I had like a bigger following, I was just like, because I don't really want you to use this against me, or I don't want you to really say that, or, like you just don't really want to share the highs and the lows. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm the type of person that doesn't really want to share my lows, my lows. Because when they're low, they're low. Okay? When they're high, they're high. And I can share a low, but I'm talking about my lows. I'm talking about down there. Like, I'm talking about my lows. I be low. Like, and I just don't feel like everybody is, in my opinion, worthy of seeing that, because it ain't good. It's not a good sight. It's not, yeah, y'all would, yeah, we just gonna keep it there. But, like sometimes you just, I don't know. I don't even know how we got here. But that's what the podcast is for, right? It's to talk about things. It's to talk and just get it out. And I haven't talked to you guys in a while, and I haven't just been able to get it out. And I have a lot to say, and I have a lot to talk about. I'm so excited, and I think that 5 months was really important for me to take a break, because I sometimes be hyper fixated on like run of show and how things need to go and how I need to play a game, even down to like how the video is titled. Like, it needs to be the same consistency every single time, and I will literally stress myself out. And I have got a system together on Instagram. I've gotten a system together on TikTok, which me and TikTok do not go together. If you guys want to follow me on TikTok, that'll be great, but TikTok do not like me, and I do not like them. Yeah. But I've gotten my system together. But as for YouTube, I haven't. And I know that like certain things, you have to title things like a certain way, especially if you don't have a big following, which I don't. Like, we only are sitting at like 7,000. I know it's very unrealistic, especially here on YouTube, to think that I would hit 100K here this year. But it would be cool if I hit 10K. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to push for that this year. But yeah, with that being said, I have to like be consistent, and so I'm trying to be consistent with my vlogs and uploading those on Sundays, and being consistent with my podcast and uploading those on Thursdays. That's why you're watching it today, okay? Well, maybe when you're watching it, it's not Thursday, but just know that this video was uploaded on this Thursday, because I'm not playing with myself no more, okay? But no, I really think that I needed that break to like really regroup and gather myself, because like I said, I be hyper fixated on like how things look and appear and seem, and like, yeah, that's important, but it's gonna come. And I know that because I've went through that with Instagram. Like, I've literally been through that. So like, I don't know why I'm holding myself at such a high standard. Actually, I do. I'm holding myself at such a high standard because this is where I started. I feel like I should already know these things. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I haven't been consistent in a very long time. So Taylor, you gotta, dive in, stick your toe in a little bit, real slowly, and, get the hang of things. But I'm not being so hard on myself, which is why we're here. And it's also a reason why I don't have on makeup, because I was like, you know what? I do not feel like putting on makeup today. And honestly, I feel like she's giving. Like, am I tripping? But I just feel like ponytail, hair tie. What is it? Hair. What is the song? Why can't I think? It's too early, but bare face, hair tie. No. Sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're the what? I hope that you don't take it wrong. Yeah, I don't know. That's embarrassing. Now I gotta go and edit that out. That is embarrassing. Why I didn't know the song? It's just early. It's early. But we have rambled at this point for 10 minutes. Let's get to what you guys came here for. And if I'm being completely honest, baby, ain't nothing on this card. Ain't nothing on this card. This is for decoration. Everything is on my phone today. I do typically put things on my cards, but I just felt like I wanted to hold this because it's part of the branding. Everything is literally on my phone. So today we're talking about a topic that I feel like people don't really dive into, and it's probably because a lot of the bigger creators can't necessarily relate, especially because of the time that they came up in, whatever era it was, whether it was like that 2010 and that was like the natural hair era, or the 2015 when like the couples channel started to become relevant, and that's when a lot of people started with YouTube as well. And then you have like the 2020, like literally like every 5 years there's like this come up where you're seeing a lot of new influencers like be at their height. And typically when they are at their height, they have gotten a lot of clout or attention because of some trend that was trending, and they built their community. Like it wasn't necessarily just like people doing anything for clout, although there are people that did that, but they were really like focused on building their community. But I want to talk about the people, because this is including myself, that grow slower. Because obviously I've been in the game for like 10 years. It'll be 10 years this year. So I'm really, fingers crossed, hoping and praying that I I hit 100K on at least Instagram, because I have been doing this for 10 years and it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. I personally feel like nobody really prepares you for the slow growth. Like there are a lot of people out here that are telling you what it is that you should do and what trends that you should use, what sounds you should use, like all the things, but nobody's telling you about like how important it is to build a community. Prince, sorry y'all, my dog is walking and I know y'all can see the shadows because there's the lights literally on the floor. But dang, Prince, you ruined my thought. I don't even know what I was saying. I think what I was saying was there are so many videos out there that are telling you what you could do to like grow your clout, but nobody's really telling you how to build a community and how important it is to build a community. Because how many of us can sit here and say that we see big influencers, especially on TikTok, that have millions and millions of followers that are barely hitting 10,000 views because all they did was like stuff for clout. All they did was that trending sound. All they did was that trending dance. But like outside of that, nobody knew their personality. Outside of that, nobody knew what they like to do, what they like to eat, what they like to wear. Like, you know what I'm saying? For some people, didn't nobody even really know their name. Like, there's no community there. And that's what I want to talk about today. Like, not focusing so heavy on the numbers and how many views you have. Easier said than done. Definitely easier said than done. But like focusing on the comments and the community you have, how many DMs you have of people asking you questions, how many comments you have, how many replies to stories you have. Like that is building community, and that is what's important, especially in this era right now. A lot of people feel like building slow is failure, when in all actuality building slow is building that foundation. It's kind of like building a house, right? Like if you build a house all super fast, like there's not going to be a foundation. That house is going to crumble way faster than like an old house that like set, you know what I'm saying, had a sturdy foundation. And that's why I brought up like those influencers that blew up fast but fell just as fast. And not only did they not have the community, but they also didn't get to experience growing their mindset. And that's something that's super important too when it comes to being an influencer, is building your mindset. all across the board, right? Like building the mindset to wake up and film and edit and have to do everything by yourself, that within itself is like not easy to do. If it was, everybody would be doing it. So for everybody that be talking about how like, oh, you just be making your little videos. No, baby, I don't be making little videos. This is a whole production. Like, I have a whole monitor. I have lights over here. I got lights down here. I got a whole sign. Like, what are we talking about? And then I got to go and edit this video. Like, what about this is little? What about this is little? Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not building your mindset to be consistent and to deal with the things you're going to deal with, whether that is the people around you, kind of like I spoke about earlier, or like making connections, maybe potentially having to move, like all of these things are a process. They shouldn't happen overnight. And if they do, like you're not going to be prepared for everything that comes with it, and you're going to get burned out. You're going to get burnt out. It's so crazy because I see videos about like use this trend right now and use this sound right now and and like people be eating that shit up, and it's like, yeah, I guess if you just want to go viral, like that's cool or whatever, but like people be doing all the trending shit and can't keep up with like who they pretended to be. And like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a trend that like you don't even want to do, or maybe it's a trend that you don't even care about, or you know what I'm saying? And now people are going to you for that and nothing else because that's who you portrayed yourself to be. So growing slow is definitely a process and it's been a process for your girl even recently. I think the last time I talked to you guys, it was in February. So I had maybe just hit 30K. I don't even know if I had hit 30K yet, but now I'm sitting at 60K, 61K to be exact on Instagram. So your girl is definitely growing. I am so excited. I'm excited because I feel like I deserve that shit, baby. It's been a long time coming. But yeah, anyway, I want to talk about why it's so hard to stay motivated during that slow period of time. And honestly, I feel like it's hard to stay motivated because people have these expectations. But not only that, you have these expectations for yourself, right? Like you want to begin to see results. And I spoke a little bit about this on my last podcast episode, but I'm going to speak on it again this one because it's just really important, especially when it comes to my journey. And I know I'm typically a loud person that be doing all the antics and I'm animated. Y'all gonna get that. But I just I just want to sit and like really talk to y'all and tell y'all like how this journey has been for me. So back in 2023, I decided that I really wanted to focus on my influencer journey and I wanted to put everything into myself. Now, I had already been an influencer. I had already been, getting invited to the events, and I had already been doing some collaborations. At that point in time, I had already worked with Hulu. I had already worked with Cadillac. So there were some things there, but it was not consistent at all. Like I wasn't consistently reaching out to brands. I wasn't necessarily consistently posting. And if I did, the post didn't necessarily have any substance. It just wasn't giving like you really want to be that girl. It wasn't giving that. So in 2023, I decided that I'm going to take this seriously, and I decided to get a 9-to-5 job because I don't like saying real job because what the fuck is a real job? Let's just be so fucking for real right now. A job is anything that makes you some money. Well, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is a real job? Like, but I did get a 9-to-5 because I needed some consistency in my life. And I knew if I wanted to take this influencer thing seriously, I was going to need that money. It wasn't going to come quickly. And so I ended up getting a 9-to-5. And then from there, I started posting every day. And I would have to be at my job at 7:15 in the morning, which meant I had to get up even earlier to film or edit. Sometimes I would be editing on my way to work, okay? I do not recommend Okay, don't be on your phone editing, cutting, splitting clips. Just don't be doing that. But that was me, and that was like the only time that I had to really get the video up, and people would comment, and it was like really cool. I was starting to train the algorithm, and although I don't make those types of videos anymore, those videos that I did talking about like hot topics and things trained me and prepared me to do what it is that I do now and being more confident in front of the camera, because I wasn't confident at a point in time. I felt like I had to come on here and be professional all the time. Part of that is from the family that I came from. You know, they a little bougie. We a little bougie over here, just a little bit. And I felt like I needed to come on here with like the suit, like, and be like, hello, you guys. And so I just wanted to be apologetically myself. And I really, really, really wanted to focus on that. And so, like, although there are videos that I look back at and I cringe, literally cringe, that was a learning period for me. All of this is a learning period, but that was like a super, super, super learning period for me. Um, and in 2023, I felt like I had sowed so many seeds. I was really just like working on my craft, y'all. I really was like, and I looked back at 2023 and felt like I had nothing to show for it. Nothing. Not like consecutive or consistent brand deals. Nothing. And you know those like videos of people recapping the year? I literally wanted to make a video like that and had nothing to recap. I was like, what did I do? What did I accomplish? What did I accomplish this year? I literally felt like I accomplished not a damn thing. And I then realized that I was weeding my garden. And that's something that we do not talk about. We don't talk about how important it is to take out all of the dead things that's in our garden, the bad habits that we've sown over the years, over and over and over again. And so that's what I feel like I was doing in 2023. I literally was pulling out all of the weeds out of my garden. I was getting the soil ready. Y'all, I don't know, not nothing about gardening. I do want to learn, okay? I do want to educate myself. So if I'm using the wrong terms, don't come for me. Also, in my intro, there is a part of it where I'm like in a garden. That is why. So you guys are getting a little bit of tea here. But yeah, I was doing all of that. And not only did I do that, I was planting the seeds. But by that time, like, you know, the season for you to grow seeds had kind of already passed, right? But I had gotten all the weeds out. I had, you know, prepared the soil, all the things. And so in 2024, although I went into it like, dang, I've been doing all this, nothing is working. Like 2024 hit and I started to get brand deals and I started to get things I had never seen before, like a 4-figure brand deal. So I'm like, hold on, wait, what? 4 figures? Like, oh wait. And that's when I was sitting at like 20K, mind you. And I know people that have less than that. I know people that have 10K that have gotten 4-figure brand deals. I know people that have 3K that have gotten 4-figure brand deals. Like, please do not play. So like, I was like, oh, this is real. Like, you see it on social media and that's one thing, but especially when you don't have connections, you're living in a smaller city, it's just like, how can I make this possible for me? And that's something that like I experienced, because it's like, how the hell am I going to do this? And so I was starting to do it. And so when I reflected on my 2024, I was like, yo, like this is crazy. This is a crazy year. I got a Benz. I was traveling for work. Like, I had worked with Talia Wajid. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. I cannot even believe that this is my life. I cannot even believe this is my life. But even with that being said, I still was like, dang, I don't even have 30K. I was still sitting damn near at the same number that I was sitting at in 2023. But I was starting to see the fruits of my labor, like, and that was crazy. And I feel like that really showed me like that this is possible and that you can do anything that you put your mind to. It doesn't matter the numbers, it matters the community. And my community was showing up and showing out for me every single time. They were engaging with my content. They could relate to my content. And even if they couldn't directly relate to my content, as in like we weren't going through the same things, they could apply my content to themselves. And that is what set me apart, you know? And so clearly I feel like it's hard to stay motivated because you're not seeing your numbers grow. You're not seeing your numbers move. But if you stop focusing so much on like the 200 views that you're getting, and you focus on the 10, the 20, the 30 comments that you got out of those 200 views, I promise you it's going to be easier if you begin to clean out the people that you're following, the negativity, and you begin to follow other people that are like kind of on the same wavelength as you. I promise you it'll be so much easier. And that's something that I had to do personally. I also think that there's pressure to like look or be successful when you're still figuring it out. And I'm going to talk about this in another video because I feel like I have an untraditional thought of this, like, because at the end of the day, like, we're human, we're going to have feelings, we're going to have thoughts. But again, I just think it's really important for us to like use this time to train our mindset to not sit here and compare and contrast or listen to the outside noise. And the thing is, it's like, who in your inner circle is giving you outside noise of like, why aren't you successful? You know, like, you need to remove them. You need to give them the boots. And whatever internal thought that you're having when it's like, why am I not successful? You also need to give that the boots. And you need to be thinking more so about, what type of content can I make to relate to people? You know what I'm saying? In whatever industry it is that you're in. And these things change. Right now, people want to see the journey. People really want to see the journey of like what it is that you're doing and how you're doing it. Like, if your content is not helpful in some way, and this is at least right now in 2025, because like I said, it'll change. People don't want it. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the hidden wins of growing. And I kind of just went into that, but let's dive in a little bit deeper. When you're growing slow, you're going to learn the business of pitching to brands, and that is something that is extremely important, especially if you want to be signed to an agency. Like, even if you want to be signed to an agency, you need to know what it is that you want and how you want it and how you want it said, so that when that time does come, if you're signed to an agency or if you're training somebody and you're building your own team, you can tell them exactly what it is that you want. You know what works and what doesn't work. And you know when somebody is bullshitting you. Now, me personally, I'm not signed to an agency. It is something that is on my bucket list for this year, something on my vision board for this year. So fingers crossed. But I ain't signing to just anybody. And you gonna have to put in some work, okay? But I do feel like, you know, being signed to an agency down the line is very, very important, especially because they can get you into rooms that you cannot get yourself into not unless you have some type of connection. And we all know life is about connections, baby. Not only are you going to learn pitching, but you're going to learn how to negotiate as well. And that's something that's important. And that's something that your girl is starting to do a little bit. Sometimes I'll be salty because I try to go back and forth and then they don't hit your girl back. And I'll be like, damn, I should have just I shouldn't have taken the money. Actually, I shouldn't have taken the money. It is what it is. Like, what's meant for you is meant for you. But sometimes I do be like, damn, I'm currently like, damn, there's this brand that I actually use and love, okay? They reached out to me. They asked for my price. I gave it to them, and they cut it by 50%. I was like, I can't cut it by 50%. I can cut it by 25, though. And so they were like, we'll get back with you. I mean, y'all, it's been a month at this point. And every time I try to follow up, it's like, oh, well, we'll get back with you. I guess that's not a no. Maybe the campaign is on a standstill. Sometimes that does happen. I will keep y'all updated. That's why y'all gotta make sure y'all tune into the vlogs, because that's where you get, you know what I'm saying, the everyday tea that's happening. Sometimes I might just forget to say it here, or it's just harder to follow the story here. But yeah, but you get to learn that journey. Like when you're on a slower journey, you get to learn how to negotiate, and again, all the right things to say and how to say it, and when it's time to negotiate, when it's time to pivot, when it's time to sit still and just like, you know, be like, okay, maybe not this one, but let me build a relationship with this brand because I love them. You get to learn that. I'm currently learning a lot about what I can say, what I can do. I have a little bit more pull than what I thought that I did or what I once did. And I'm learning that. And there's some things that I definitely could have done better or I didn't know that I can do. And now I'm learning. So next time, you best believe I won't mess up. And this Christmas season, I'm going to have one hell of a Christmas season because I hear that's where the money is, honey. And did I make a lot of money Christmas season? I feel like I made a lot in fall, but not really for Christmas. But I want parts. I want parts of all that. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is tips for creators growing. And at this point, y'all, what am I doing? Like, I just told y'all this was for decoration. I've been holding it, but yeah. So tips for creators growing. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on consistency. Now, I wrote over aesthetics. I'm an aesthetics girly. I'm not going to hold you. I like for everything to look cute. I won't say things look cute over my consistency. I feel like it's equal for me, but that's just because aesthetics is something that's really important to me. Oh, I'm hitting the mic. Hopefully y'all don't hear it. But aesthetics is something that's really important to me. Like, even if it's not for much, like even my studio, like I tell you guys all the time, but if you're new here, I'm sitting in my dining room, but I'm very like an aesthetic girly. And if you are that too, like figure out how you can focus on the aesthetics without being overly consumed, whether that's like you don't have the space, you don't have the money. Figure out how to make it work with what you have, and you can always advance. That's a tip that I would give you, because I can't be like consistency over aesthetics, but I'm an aesthetics girl. Like, I want to look cute, I want to look good, I want to give y'all an experience. Like, in whatever I do, I want you to feel me. You get what I'm saying? Don't wait to pitch. Small creators definitely get big bags too. Like, don't just sit here. I do want to announce that your girl just landed her biggest brand deal, and it sounded like my prices were a little low based off of the response that I got, because she said, oh, your pricing is very reasonable. I was like, very? It's very reasonable? I thought that this was a bigger amount. So next time I know, and that's why I said I'm learning, but next time I know that, like, you know, Taylor, you can go a little bit higher, because people do have money. And I'm still considered a micro influencer, okay? Create what you love even when no one's clapping yet. Do what it is that you want to do. Be authentically you. I feel like that's when I really started to grow. Like, in all honesty, I just started being myself, and I realized that, like, I have amazing storytelling skills. I just got told yesterday that, like, I do a really good job at making people feel like they're like experiencing things with me. So that's so good. Like, that warms my heart, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just being me. That's what people want to see. People want to see you be you, not a fake version of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not giving Pilates and matcha, don't force yourself in the bubble to give Pilates and matcha just because this girl over here is giving Pilates and matcha. And maybe that's her personality. Maybe it's not, but maybe it is. And maybe she just that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't got to conform yourself to be that. You can be this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself. Just be you. And keep track of all of your data and all of your wins. Don't just rely on validation from others in your circle, from your followers. Like, no, you keep track of that shit so you can go back and be like, damn, this is where I was. Like, I was just talking to my friend yesterday. she was talking about, like, when it came to content and posting or whatever. And she was like, well, I feel like the first time or the first week that I did it, it was just so easy. I was like, no. You do not remember that first week you were literally stressing. But now looking back at it, it's oh so easy. I'm like, you need to keep track. You need to keep track of it so you can remember how you felt in that moment and really sit there and celebrate yourself, baby. Like, you gotta be your number one fan. You gotta be your biggest fan, okay? Basically, that's kind of like all I have for this video. I just wanted to give y'all some tips and tricks when it comes to growing slowly and just help those that are feeling like a little down. Like I said, like, we're halfway through the year, a little bit more than halfway through the year. So I know we all feeling it. We feeling it and feeling it. Oh, that's doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Okay, y'all, I'm just all over the place. Like I said, it's early. I had no breakfast. But I really just wanted to talk about that because it's something that I've been struggling with to an extent. It's something that I have struggled with, and I just thought that it would be a great topic to come back to, being that I haven't been here in like 5 months. But yeah, if you ever feel like you're feeling alone or you just feel down, or if this video helped you, like, comment that down below and let's have a conversation about all the things. Like, I'm pretty sure that this video is going to attract other smaller creators. It better, because algorithm, I need you to algorithm, okay? Smaller creators that are just trying to figure it out. And like, y'all see that here on YouTube, as of right now, today that this video is being filmed, I'm sitting at 7,000 and some followers on here. It's not like I have the biggest following. So we're gonna grow together. We're gonna be each other's community. So comment something nice down below. And if you ever want to get in contact with me, if you ever have any questions, like, I do my best to make sure that I respond to people. And so hit me up on Instagram and make sure you follow your girl on Instagram, because that's where I be at a lot of the time. Like, that's where you're going to find me a lot of the time. That's where you're going to see me in my day-to-day. Join the community. That's what I call my followers now, if you didn't know. Like, it's not a community, it's a community. Like, period. And join that. We talk a little bit, we give a little motivation over there. Again, that's on my Instagram, so make sure that you follow me on Instagram. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to talk about more topics and do more podcasts, even when it's by myself, because that was something that I was like, oh my gosh, so like, if I don't have a person to book, like, I'm gonna just be sitting here and talking myself. But yeah, we are, because let's talk about it, baby. Let's talk about it. I'm trying to create this safe space for influencers. It don't matter if it's a big influencer, a small influencer, an aspiring influencer, creatives in general. Yeah, this is the place for you. So if you any of that, if you're a creative, if you're that girl, this is a place for you. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's all I have for this video. I love you guys so much. Let me know in the comments below what else you want me to talk about, and that's really all I have. Okay, love you.